Candace Owens downplays 9/11.
She obviously hates America.
Let's talk about it, y'all. Middle America. Well, it's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, what about?
Now, Groundhog Day, when the guy keeps waking up and it's the same thing over and over again. I feel like I'm in an alternate universe where I'm stuck in Groundhog Day. So, the last video that we shot was about Candace Owens and her supposed support of Adolf Hitler. Mm-hmm. And I kind of offhand at the end of the video said, yeah, they did this to Ilhan Omar with the supposed anti-Semitism.
Yep.
I asked somebody, I said, well, what's the proof of her anti-Semitism? And the person says, she never has anything nice to say about Israel. Neither does Norman Finkelstein. I guess that means he's an anti-Semite too. Oh, wait a second, he's Jewish. Neither do the Refuseniks. Or there's a lot of Jewish people that have serious problems with the way that the Israelis are prosecuting their national security apparatus over there at the expense of the Palestinian people. That doesn't make her an anti-Semite.
Right.
So, look.
People can have opinions.
People are allowed to have opinions, especially when it comes to an apartheid state like Israel. Yes, I said it. So I'm waiting for these anti-Semitic statements from Ilhan. And like I said, she might say something legitimately anti-Semitic. I'm open to it. I want to know. But anyway, so I mentioned kind of offhand that I was like, this is what they did with Candace Owens, mischaracterizing her, quoting out of context, is I said they did this to Ilhan Omar on the other side. Mm-hmm. And of course the Young Turks jumped on this. And listen to this quote from Ana Kasparian. Now, what's amazing to me in our current political discourse is the absolute lack of ability to see consistently when something's being done. You can completely see it when the right-wingers doing it.
Yeah.
Right. When the right-wingers do it, the left-wingers know it's being done, and vice versa, but they're never able to self-critique. It's unbelievable. Look at what Ana Kasparian says about this recent jihad with Ilhan Omar. This is a recent taping of the Young Turks, because apparently this statement just came out.
What Fox News and overall the right wing is unfortunately very good at is taking an innocent statement and twisting it over and over and over again to the point where people really genuinely start to believe that she minimized it. And she did not minimize it. First of all, she's speaking off the cuff. And you and I know from experience on a regular basis that if you're not incredibly careful and you don't word things exactly right and you don't include every single possible caveat, there are always people who are going to intentionally, because they don't like you for whatever reason, misinterpret what you're saying and make it seem like you're saying something that you're not saying.
I agree, Ana Kasparian. If only you'd have applied that logic to your recent takedown of Candace Owens, in which you did literally the exact same thing.
Oh.
God almighty. She literally did the exact same thing, because Candace Owens said, oh, she was speaking off the cuff, brought up Hitler and said, he would have been fine. And all of a sudden that got construed to Candace Owens is good with Hitler massacring black people.
I know. That wasn't...
It's literally the exact same template, but notice she says that the right wing is able to do it and Fox News is able to do it, as if she didn't engage in the exact same exercise with Candace Owens. So here we are with Ilhan Omar. Okay, now here is the full clip. I'm going to play the full clip from Miss Omar. She was speaking at CARE. I think CARE is basically... the Council of American Islamic Relations. I think that's what it stands for, basically. And CARE kind of functions a little bit like the ADL. The ADL is like the Anti-Defamation League, and if you say something against Jewish people, they'll call you on it and make you, put social pressure on you. Well, CARE is basically the Islamic version of that, because there are not a lot of groups that will hold you accountable in the social sphere. And after 9/11, CARE obviously came into prominence.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Because for obvious reasons.
Right.
So here's a statement she made at a gala. This happened about a month ago, but the story just broke a couple days ago, and here we are. So here's what she said.
Here's the truth. far too long, we have lived with the discomfort of being a second-class citizen. And frankly, I'm tired of it. And every single Muslim in this country should be tired of it. CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties. So you can't just say that today someone is looking at me strange, that I am going to try to make myself look pleasant. You have to say, this person is looking at me strange. I am not comfortable with it. I am going to go talk to them and ask them why. Because that is a right you have.
Okay, so that's the full context of what she said.
Yeah.
She said because some people did something, now the whole slew of us have
We're all bearing the weight of it.
Bearing the weight of it. So, correct. And she's saying, you know, when somebody's looking at you strange for being a Muslim or wearing a hijab or whatever it is, somebody's looking at you all weird, you know, you don't have to take that. You're an American. You have rights. Go and press the issue. I believe later on in the speech she said, raise hell, make people uncomfortable. And so people jumped on that too. But, I mean, it was obvious why she was saying raise hell and make people uncomfortable, because Muslims in this country have been made to feel very uncomfortable since 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was the full brunt of the discussion. Now, you know what's funny is when we get on firesides and I talk about how white males have been doing all the killing last year, all the terrorist attacks have been done by white males.
Yeah.
I immediately get, here we go. And they say that was one guy that you can't speak for. You can't let that one guy speak for all of us. I agree. I agree. So even though it was white males that were going around blasting everybody into eternity last year in 2017, 2018, you cannot say that all white males with guns are going to be doing that. And so there should be an affinity for your Muslim neighbor, because your Muslim neighbor has had to deal with that too. But you know what's funny? There's a certain political persuasion that whenever people complain about being discriminated against or being stereotyped or marginalized, they immediately say, oh, those snowflakes, those silly, stupid snowflakes. But then when the shoe's on the other foot, they get extremely sensitive. Read the Gillette commercial. So this is what happens. She's talking at CARE, and she's saying because some people did something, now the whole slew of us have gotten the brunt of it. And Anna Kasparian rightly pointed out that you have to put in every single caveat and say these are horrible, terrible, nasty Muslim terrorists. You know, the right-wingers, when Obama was in office, they were upset because Obama refused to use the term Islamic terrorism. He just said terrorism. And they were upset that he didn't put the term Islamic in front of it. So they were saying, oh, he's hiding the fact that we're fighting Muslims and blah, 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 blah. No, it's just that Obama didn't want to consistently tie terrorism to Islam, as if Muslim radicals are the only people that commit terrorist acts. We know that that's not the case. So it's the exact same thing where it's obvious that white males...
Well, I was going to say, whenever there's some... They don't say white male, blah, 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 blah. Right. Every time. Right.
And when they do, white males get extremely, well, not all white males, but there's a group of white males, usually on the right side, that get extremely defensive about it. So when the shoe's on the other foot, they just want it to be known as terrorism or a random actor shooter situation. They don't want their race or their gender connected to the terrorism. But when it was Islamic terrorism, everybody wanted Obama to say Islamic terrorism. So what Ilhan Omar apparently was supposed to say was these nasty, disgusting, rotten Muslim terrorists, and then they would have been okay. So here's Fox News. Here's Fox News's interpretation of that situation. I don't know who this guy is, but I know he's Fox News. So here we are.
The Democratic Party has a problem. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, known for making anti-Semitic comments, now downplaying the 9/11 terror attacks.
CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
The New York Post blasting Omar. Here's Thursday's front cover. But some of her radical cohorts are defending her. Listen to this.
This is just pure racist act by many of those, hateful acts by those, because she does speak truth.
We are getting to a level where this is an incitement of violence against progressive women of color.
Republican Congressman and retired Navy SEAL Dan Crenshaw also sounding off against Omar, tweeting this. First member of Congress to ever describe terrorists who killed thousands of Americans on 9/11 as some people who did something, quote unquote. Unbelievable.
I feel like they're intentionally missing the point. Like, they're looking for a reason to...
Of course.
You have to take just that piece of her conversation and not look at the entirety of what she's talking about.
The subject of her discussion was not on whether or not 9/11 was a historically terrible event.
Right.
The subject of her talk was not whether or not 9/11 was a terribly tragic historical event with massive consequences to the world.
No, she's saying the effects of that are affecting all of us.
Muslims in particular.
Right. Well, I'm saying us as in her people.
Right. Which again is exactly what the left did with Candace Owens. The Candace Owens discussion piece was not about whether or not Hitler was a good guy. The discussion was between globalism and nationalism.
Right.
But you rip it out of the context. It's the exact same playbook. You cut the thing. And you only play that little portion, and then you reinterpret what was said by verbal sleight of hand, which is
terrible.
Exactly what Mr. Liu did to Candace Owens.
Yes.
After he played the clip, he then turns to the ADL lady and says, "Does legitimizing Hitler create white nationalism? Duh." But Candace Owens was not legitimizing Hitler,
right.
And Ilhan Omar was not downplaying 9/11.
Right.
What she was saying was, because a certain group of people did something, 19 people, all of the millions of Muslims in America around the world had to feel the consequences for it. And there are a lot of reasons why she might have said some people. One would be she doesn't want to associate herself with Muslim terrorists. One would be we've heard literally millions of times that the 19 hijackers were Muslims. This is not a question about the religious identity of the folks who did it. So what she was trying to do is extricate herself and her people, Muslim people, from the hijackers. She was trying to other the hijackers and say, those are not our people. Those are not connected to us. In a very similar way that Candace Owens was trying to push Hitler off as a globalist instead of a nationalist.
Yeah.
And
well, I think that some people would say the same thing of like all of the white males that have been shooting.
Correct.
They would say, well, just some white guys have done this.
That's right.
That doesn't mean all of us are bad. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, it was that similar language.
Right. Look at the way the right wing characterized the New Zealand shooting. They didn't make it some big giant horrible. They didn't speak, in my opinion, didn't speak about the New Zealand shooting with the gravity that it deserved. And so, so it's just, it's unbelievable to me. It's literally the exact same thing that happened with Candace Owens, and now they're just flipping it and doing it on the other side. Now, I got another clip to show you. This is probably the most ironic piece of all time. So, when Candace Owens was speaking on the committee floor, Mr. Nadler, remember when he said, "You will not call one of us stupid."
Yes.
When he clearly wasn't listening to Candace Owens.
Right.
Right? And it was that whole jihad about Candace Owens co-signing Hitler. So here he is. This is Jerry Nadler.
Okay.
Here he is on CNN. This is published 14 April. Here he is on CNN, and they're asking him what his thoughts about Ilhan Omar are, based on the 9/11 comments, right? So now this guy's a Democrat, okay?
Yep.
Listen to what he says about Ilhan.
No, I did not. She characterized it only in passing. She was talking about discrimination against Muslim Americans. And she just said that after that happened, it was used as an excuse for lots of discrimination and for withdrawal of civil liberties. No, I did not take that. I've had some problems with some of her other remarks, but not with that one. Not with that one.
Oh.
Oh, he gets it. Like, he can make those.
So when people say things in passing, Mr. Nadler, and we need to look at the full context of what they're saying. That's strange. It seems that you couldn't show that same deference to Candace Owens.
Right.
When she said, she said, you think black people are stupid, Mr. Lou.
Yeah,
and he goes, the witness will be quiet. The witness will not call other people stupid. If you cannot see that this is all about party lines and posturing and all the rest of it and virtue signaling, I cannot help you. These are all extremely intelligent people. And they all know when to play for their team and when to act as if I can't believe you said that.
Yeah.
Candace Owens, I can't believe you said that, Ilhan. Ah! Y'all are killing me. It's the irony is
oh, I know.
And the thing is, they can look in a camera with a straight face and not see the irony of the hypocrisy. It's unbelievable. It's palpable.
I don't understand how it happens when they know everything's recorded.
That's the thing, is that that's how low they think of the average American citizen. They think that lowly of us. I don't know what to tell you.
Prove them wrong, America.
So this is a rhetoric that gets lazily thrown around by these people back and forth, and they don't seem to realize that this type of rhetoric has some dangerous consequences. Ms. Omar consistently gets death threats because Ben Shapiro and his just constantly throwing out terms like anti-Semitic. Ben Shapiro goes, oh yeah, Ilhan Omar, she's a terrible person. He just gets to go out there and say that she's a terrible person. Gosh. Yeah, and then look at this gem from Fox News here.
Really? There's so few people did something? You have to wonder if she's an American first.
You have to wonder if she's an American first. So when Ilhan questioned people's loyalty to the country versus super PAC money, which everybody has questioned, she was a raging anti-Semite. She was just a terrible person. So I wonder if Ben Shapiro is going to come out and say that this dude from Fox News is a terrible person and a raging Islamophobe. Because he just questioned her loyalty to America. By the way, this is Miss Omar's perspective on America.
As an American member of Congress, I have to make sure that I am living up to the ideals of fighting for liberty and justice. Those are very much rooted in the reason why my family came here.
Wow.
This is the anti-Semite terrible person who we don't really know if she's loyal to America. But she says that the ideals of equality and freedom and justice
is what brought her
are the ideals that she has to live up to, which means that she's saying that those are the ideals of what America is. Mm-hmm. And just because someone criticizes America from time to time for saying we're not living up to that creed, now all of a sudden she's we're going to question her loyalty to the state. It's the exact same game that gets played. This is dangerous stuff, man.
Yep.
These and AOC was talking about women of color and all the rest of it. And hey, AOC, if you were really serious about protecting women of color in the public sphere, then you would have said something when they were going after Candace Owens. Because she's a woman of color too. This is just BS. Party line. If there's anything that shows you that our media is no longer media anymore, and it's just split right, literally perforated down party lines. I don't know what else to show you. It's literally the exact same template, and the responses operate both ways. When it's Ilhan, the leftists are able to say, "Whoa, Let's parse the context. Let's figure out what happened here. But when it's Candace Owens, the liberals are not able to do that for some reason.
Why
and then,
is that?
Yeah, and then when the shoe's on the other foot, right-wingers are able to say, whoa, there's some context here with Candace Owens. Let's think about the context. They're able to parse that, but when it's Ilhan, they're not able to. Hello? Same situation. You're going to get these girls killed out here. Both of them. Both of them. You get some crazy...
Then you know what happens is you don't hear what her actual message was.
Correct. We don't really get to hear what Candace was saying or what Ilhan was saying. No. And I'm not saying that I agree with... I obviously don't agree with a lot of Ilhan's ideals, and I obviously don't agree with Candace Owens' ideals. I already said that in the other video. But what I do not like is being manipulated. And what I do not like is people thinking that we're stupid. None of us are stupid. You know, I said in the Fireside, in the live call-in show, this is not 1994 when the media had basically sole access to these videos. We have these videos now, so we can see them.
But they're banking on the laziness of humanity because people don't look up the rest of the clip and watch the thing and come up with your own ideas.
Yeah.
But people let everybody else steer the cart for them, and then they take a little clip, they hear what that person says about it, and then that's their idea.
Right.
Like they watched the whole thing and did the research. You didn't. Watching a video on YouTube is not doing your research.
Sadocked. Watching us isn't doing research. Go find the source videos yourself.
Look at it.
Go find the source videos yourself. You can see. But we don't get to... what has to happen to some... Like, eventually we're going to figure it out when some psychopath goes and hurts one of these ladies.
Right.
Then we'll figure out that maybe we should be reporting these things accurately.
Wow.
And maybe we should be misconstruing what people are saying on purpose.
Right.
Because we could really... Let's just have a dialogue about policy. Ilhan is a politician. Let's talk about her policies. What is she voting for? What is she advocating for? Criticize that. We don't need this type of rhetoric and vitriol in the ether right now. Good God. All right. So here it's Groundhog Day. It's unbelievable. You know, it's back-to-back videos. Tiger Woods just won his first Masters in forever. I wanted to shoot a video about that, but here we are.
Right, right.
Love your neighbor.
Take care of each other.
Middle America.
We are the media.
Till next time, guys.
Look, she's wearing red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was purposeful.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm going to bring Johan up here. Can you work on editing that, and I'll get Johan to...
Can you stop it from recording?
So fun.